lost. They broke, they think it's my fault. No call. I want that caught. I'm dripping, I'm stuck with the sauce. But she love you, don't cut your. Reynolds Da Vinci is white. Limited Louis, that's light. Rape in the city, that's light. LED, look at the lights. We the ones don't like. But you look too light. Why even play with your life? Bank account looking like yikes.
With me, boy. Put your hands on your fingers.
Now we're cooking. It's the coach. This is Madden 19, and it's the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, running back Dalvin Cook.
With the beautiful Puget Sound just to our west, you get a look inside CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. Straight ahead, it's a rematch from last year's frozen NFC wildcard game between the Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks. This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now a play fake here on first down. And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
A second down throw for Cousins. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. From the gun, here's Cousins. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Eric Reed. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
Well, it's third down. You're in a tight game in the loudest stadium in the NFL, and it's enough to rattle even the most seasoned of quarterbacks. And here, it looks like he's not quite on the same page as his receiver. This will wind up a turnover.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
Now the rookie first-rounder from San Diego State, it's Rashad Penny. And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that.
And, Brandon, every running back wants to use their speed in order to get out in front of things. Sometimes you just have to be patient, let blocks develop. On that play, that didn't happen.
Hey, over here. Check 50, check 50.
They go play action with Wilson. Forced out to his left. Now he'll square up and throw deep left sideline. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
He only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 23. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
And it's a welcome back to health for last year's #1 pick. This is Dalvin Cook. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36. The numbers a week ago for Cook. 19 carries, 77 yards.
And well-liked by his teammates. In fact, I got on good authority, even though I'm not an investigative reporter, that in their team meeting this week, the offensive line stood up and said, Coach, we've got to have better yardage for this guy. He's number 9 in the league. He's got to be in the top 3 before the season's over. Let's run the ball.
They're able to complete this one to Tyler Conklin. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And they'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Out comes the Seattle offense. We take a peek at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. As of this moment, as pretty much everyone knows, they sit alone in that top spot, but nothing is guaranteed. They haven't even clinched the playoffs, so a good start, but a long way to go.
And you know a blunt veteran inside their locker room has stood up at one point or another and said, you know all this means nothing so far. We've got to cover this, get it done. What do we want to be? It's like winning a title in August, right in preseason. Doesn't count. Let's go ahead and get this thing done.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 13 carries, 61 yards, and a touchdown.
He's been a huge part of their winning streak because he establishes not just an identity and a tone, but the team relies on it. He takes care of the football, he gains yardage for him, chews up clock, and that's been a big part of why they're winning games lately.
Oh, and now he bowls him over. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
Hey, you look.
They'll run with Penny. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
The best play callers in any league know how to break their tendencies. They study themselves, they self-scout, and they realize most of the time you don't call a draw play on 1st and 10. So every so often you insert that play just to make the defense think, even if it's not successful.
Play action. Now Wilson. He'll buy some time, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Daniil Hunter in there to get him for what will be a loss of 13 yards. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of...
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line.
Well, it's 3rd and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
They start the drive with Cook. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. On 2nd down, Cook. He had a great move, but he'll still be stopped shy of midfield. In on the stop, it was the UCF product, Shaquem Griffin.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. On 3rd down, Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. Thielen with his first catch, and it's a first down.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Cousins to his tight end Rudolph for a Viking first down.
What a catch, and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
They
don't
get that
they?
little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football, and they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. He's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
A give. This is Cook. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made there by Frank Clark.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked number 1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
Throwing. Cousins. Blitz coming, and down he goes. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
The kick by Carlson is good. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. Been a bit of a dogfight thus far into the second quarter now, and we do have our first point. It's a field goal.
Yeah, a lot of people say, wow, first action on the scoreboard, about time. To me, the action's been right there on the field, trying to figure out who could gain an advantage, gain some field position, finally get points on the board. I'm loving this kind of game.
It feels like kickers might play a big role in this one.
Yes, make sure you give them the respect they deserve. They could cost you a game or win you one.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Now it's Wilson. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
And he's brought down after a good game. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
tempo, tempo. Spot that.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. He lets it fly for Lockett, and he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. The all-pro corner, Xavier Rhodes, there to knock that one away. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Alert. 95.
Now it's Carson. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. The Seahawks on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13.
4 down.
Throwing is Wilson. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get 2, maybe 3, up near the 37.
Well, it wasn't much of a gain, but we're getting near the 2-minute warning, so maybe they just want to get to that point, regroup, and decide what they want to do the rest of the half.
Well, they don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And a nice little quick spin move before he's dropped. And a pretty good gain. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. It's caught. Lockett. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. Now Wilson on 1st down. And Lockett with a grab over the middle. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. And worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end, or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. They also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws that quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. Takes 2 to tango.
Let's go, 14. Check. Walk the floor. Be alert. You can't, man. You're not going to get me. 12.
On 2nd down, Wilson. Wilson's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And the return will stop right around the 25. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result. They
run it for the first time with a backup Murray. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more. An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. These offenses seemingly still back at the hotel for the first half. 3-0 our score as the second half gets underway. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. And that first half was nothing short of a disaster. 0 points on the scoreboard and a big 3 in the INT column.
So they've got to get him going, obviously, right? So you've got to get him in rhythm. And we always think of short passes. I think of jet sweeps where they just kind of toss the ball forward. You know, that counts as a forward pass. And then you can say to him, look at that. You completed 3, 4, 5 in a row. Now you've got to get your confidence going.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
I'd say it's pretty good strategy. If you throw interceptions on back-to-back drives, let's see if the running backs can handle the ball a little bit, get things going. And also, you motivate your offensive line. I think they're in the mood to fire out and hit someone.
I thought the defense, though, might be a little more prepared for that run. Pretty good gain on the ground. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. The tackle made there by Linval Joseph.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
And that's why you spend a first-round draft pick on a running back. Not for just the fancy runs, but these dirty, gritty 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s. That's why you draft him.
Penny, a first down carry. Slipped 1 tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
They go play action now. Wilson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Play action. It's Wilson. Flush to his right. Throws left side, complete to Brandon Marshall. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to some...
And a fake here. Direct snap to the up man. And this is going to come up well short as they stop him on 4th down. A little trickeration there, but it doesn't fool them.
Anytime a fake doesn't work, we usually focus our attention on the guys that were unsuccessful. But how about the defensive guys? They have to plan all week. They have to prepare all week. Special teams, they look like they were educated for that one.
Educated on their toes and getting a big stop. They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Now a 2nd down throw for Cousins. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's third.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
The Vikings on third down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And right with it here over the middle. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Carlson able to put this one through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course.
The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now it's Wilson. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Wilson throwing again. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
14.
Now Wilson steps away to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Gain of 9 that time on the scramble, 1 yard shy of the marker, and it brings up 4th.
Hey, over here.
They'll indeed go for it with Wilson, eluding the pressure right. He may try and run for this, and he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit, because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw, so maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
Here's Wilson being chased out left. And he hits on the slant route to Marshall. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. This is Carson, and they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. On 2nd down, here's Wilson. And it's hauled in by Ed Dixon. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Chewing up big yardage. Another nice game there. This one goes for 20. Might we see our first touchdown of the game? Here's first and goal. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. They'll roll him out right. And that will be caught, but out of the end zone, says the field judge. It's ruled incomplete. He was going for the tight end, Nick Vanette, and that'll bring up second down.
Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss on one like that very often. I mean, there it is, wide open, got the shot, and he misfires.
We talk about, boy, he'll want that one back all the time. He definitely wants that one back. Wilson now, off play action, buying time to his left. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Tyler Lockett, touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Seahawks are now just an extra point away from moving out in front. Sebastian Janikowski on for the PAT. Janikowski good with the extra point. And they take the lead here at 7-6. Out to kick is Janikowski. This one fielded at the 5. And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this third quarter. And we've got a dandy here. A one-point game as we begin the fourth. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they've got to make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
A second down throw for Cousins. And his throw here is incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. And it's third down.
Very difficult night for the guys on offense. They've got to be looking at each other in the huddle and on the sidelines. How are we going to find some open space to complete a pass and find open room to run? This defense all night long has squeezed down the passing lanes, made plays on the football. It's really been a thing of beauty for them. He's got to figure all day long prepping for the game. They had to have talked about it again and again. Squeeze passing lanes, and we'll be in great shape.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
That'll go down as just a 20-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Tennessee offense making their way out onto the field as you take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different. I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for them there, didn't it?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. They got to go thank the guys on D.
Some pretty good games all weekend. We may have saved the best for last. This Monday night game has been a dandy. A handoff to Penny. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
The Seahawks on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. They go play action with Wilson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations, because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Cousins now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Cousins again. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Play action now, Cousins. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Nazir Jones able to run him down for a 15-yard loss, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmet. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line.
Brandon, offensively, this has been a tough day for them. Trying to find a place to throw the football. It's been extremely difficult. I've got to give a lot of credit to the secondary, especially the corners who've had the receivers on lockdown.
Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here with Penny. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. It'll be a gain of 2. And speaking of 2s, it'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They run it with Carson. And an alley to run. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Important extra point up and through, and that will ensure that it will take a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Kirk Cousins now gearing up to lead this offense back out there. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another fourth-quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. Back to throw. And it's incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here? Or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake, after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Here's Carson. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. They run again with Carson. So we got 3 at 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. And another timeout called by the Vikings now, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. The Seahawks on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 8. Wilson to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. .44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. They're down here in a one-score game. But the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late-game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. He'll look to throw. And this one is incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. That'll bring up second down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Back to throw. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. Third and long coming up. Defensively, you pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both, because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure, and if you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback, and then make sure you blanket the field.
He's back to throw, and now another one thrown incomplete. Well, these corners, I tell you, they've done excellent work all game long.
They remind me of guys in the past who just said, hey, throw it out here 100 times. Nothing good is going to happen. And if you throw it in the wrong place, I'll take it the other way.
They'll look to throw. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that'll be just about all she wrote for this one. So they've gone for it twice now on fourth down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a third situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
Here's a give to Penny, and that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams